This public portfolio started back in August 2024 and it's been an incredible journey and a learning experience. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. Today, I am bringing you a portfolio update, breaking down each position, its performance, and most importantly, why I believe it's a buy, a hold, or something that I am watching closely. So first up, we have Joby Aviation. Now, this company is a leader in the electric air taxi space, right? This is my best performing stock so far. Now, it's been up an incredible 72.65%, and it's now worth about $2,065 with currently holding 235 shares. As you can see, I initially bought 20 shares of Joby Aviation on July 26th, and then on August 6th, I also bought 11 shares of Joby Aviation, and then September 3rd, I bought 4 additional shares of Joby Aviation. Now, the average price that I bought all my shares at is $5.09. And as you can see, the last price that this company is being sold per share is $8.79. So in terms of the dollar amount, it's up over $800, and that makes up the 72.65% that we talked about. So the total dollar amount that it cost me to own these shares initially is $1,196.46, and the current market value is at $2,065.65. Now, this is my biggest holding. So in terms of my current position in this YouTube portfolio, it sits at 29%. And now, you may ask, why the huge gains? So recently, Joby announced successful test flights and partnerships with key transportation hubs in the US and other areas. Now, they're one of the few companies on track to actually commercialize urban air mobility in the nearest future, right? So another company that's within the same category that's also seen a tremendous amount of growth is Archer Aviation, and I own both Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation in my private Fidelity portfolio. So in terms of the verdict for this stock, this is a hold for me. Now, while I am thrilled with the gains, this, as I said before in the initial video when I was telling you guys that I was buying this company, it is a speculative play, and volatility is obviously expected. So if you're investing in this kind of high growth sectors like this, just make sure to keep your position size not necessarily small, but something that you can manage, right? Okay, so next on my list is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, SCHD. Now, we all know that this is my go-to for dividend income, right? So in this YouTube portfolio, I own about 30 shares valued at around $830.29. So this has been up, I'd say about 3%, right? Now, this is why I like SCHD. So, and it's packed with high quality dividend paying US companies. Now, these are not like your flashy stocks, right? They're reliable companies for long-term stability and consistent income. Now, with the recent market volatility, SCHD has been a safe harbor for a lot of investors. In terms of my verdict on this stock is a buy. So I am actively buying SCHD in both this portfolio and my private portfolio. Now, if you're looking to add stability and passive income to your portfolio, you can't go wrong with SCHD. Now, as you notice in my Joby Aviation portfolio, I am not only making gains on the share price alone. So as you can see, I own over 200 shares in this portfolio. So in this portfolio, I have been leveraging what we call covered calls, right? So covered calls is the safe way of selling options that would allow you to generate income to help build the portfolio over time as well. And I'm going to cover that in a video in the future. Now, this channel, we all know, is geared towards beginner investors. We're learning, so we're trying to crawl, walk, and then run. I hope that makes sense. For SCHD, the average cost per share for me in this portfolio is $27.24. Now, the last price for SCHD before the market closed was $28.08. So my total cost for owning 29 shares of SCHD was $805.38. Now, the current market value is at $830.29. So I basically made $24.92 on paper. Again, up 3.09%. So in June 24, I bought a total of 6 shares of SCHD, and also in October of 24, I bought 11 shares of SCHD. So now within this portfolio, you're going to see a pattern where I'm buying shares, every so often. Now, what I am doing in each of these positions or in this portfolio is what we call dollar cost averaging, DCA. Now, what that basically means is that no matter what the stock market is doing, no matter what the stock price is, whether it's going up or it's going down, I am consistently buying shares. I'm consistently putting an amount of money in the market, no matter what the market is doing. Now, this over time smooths the ups and downs in the market with regards to my shares or my positions in the portfolio. I hope that makes sense. So you're going to see things like this throughout the positions in the portfolio. Now, moving on to the energy sector, I have XLE, which is the Energy Select Sector Fund. It's currently valued at $822.68. So that basically means it's been down about 1.58%. But here's a silver lining, right? XLE holds top energy companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and these companies remain profitable even within challenging markets, right? So the energy sector could rebound in hopefully the second half of 2025, right? Now, in terms of the verdict, XLE is a hold for me. I am confident that energy will bounce back, and this one I am going to keep dollar cost averaging. For XLE, right, the average price for me owning 9 shares, it is $92.66, and it's currently being sold at $91.20. So like I said, it's down $13.21. Again, 1.58% decline. My next holding is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VOO. Now, I own just over 1 share, which is worth $668.66. It has a solid gain of 11.49%. Now, VOO tracks the S&P 500. So this is a great way to get exposure to the US stock market. So it's kind of like SCHD, but different companies, right? Now, different or similar companies, give or take. In terms of my verdict, VOO is always a buy for me, especially for beginners like us looking to build a diversified, low-cost portfolio, right? Again, don't go too crazy. If you can't afford 1 share, just buy a fraction of it, and then you keep adding up, keep dollar cost averaging, and then before you know, you own hundreds of shares, right? But in comparison, I'll say for VOO and SCHD, because SCHD they recently went through a stock split, right? It's made the stock quote unquote cheaper. So I tend to buy more of that versus. So let's say if I had $100 and I was to invest in both SCHD and VOO. Personally, I would put maybe $60 in SCHD and maybe $40 in VOO. That's at least my thought process on that. So for VOO, like I said, the average price for me owning 1.1 shares is $501.53. Now it's currently being sold at $559.18. So I made $68.94. So again, it's up 11.49%. Onto Alphabet or Google, right? My 3 shares of Google are currently worth $599.94. Basically, this is up 24.69%. Now, Google continues to dominate online ads. No two ways about it, right? And with the growth of AI tools, it's positioning itself as a leader in the next wave of tech innovation, right? Now, it also has a cloud business, and it's also growing faster than expected. So in terms of the verdict for this one, this is a buy for me. It's a strong buy. Google's long-term potential is really massive, especially as the AI adoption accelerates, and that's my opinion. So yes, the average cost per share for Google in this portfolio for owning the 3 shares is $160.38. It's currently being sold per share at $199.98. So I've made on paper $118.79. Again, up 24.69%. Again, employing dollar cost averaging. I initially bought 1 share of Google, and I added 2 more. Now, the next on the list is Energy Transfer, ticker symbol ET. Now, this is more so my midstream energy play, right? So I own 28 shares, currently valued at $588.56, with a strong gain of 27.78%. Right now, Energy Transfer basically operates pipelines and storage facilities. They benefit from like the steady demand for energy infrastructure in general, right? They also offer a juicy dividend. I can get into that in a separate video, but this is perfect for people who are focused on generating income within their portfolio. In terms of the verdict, this is a hold for me, as I think the company has more room to grow, and I would definitely add more. So shares. The average cost per share for owning 28 shares of Energy Transfer, I bought it at an average price of $16.45. It's currently being sold per share at $21 and some change. So basically, on paper, I've made $127.96. Again, up 27.78%. The next one on my list is Kratos Defense and Security Solutions, ticker symbol KTOS. Now, as we all know, this is a defense company, considering all that's going on in the world right now. I've talked about this extensively in the first portfolio update, so you can check it out. So I bought this at an average price of $22.72 per share. I currently own 12 shares of this in this portfolio. It's currently being sold at $34.59, right? So on paper, for this portfolio, I have made $142.48. And again, it's up 52.27%. But there's one thing I want to share though. So not in this portfolio, but in the private portfolio, I have 100 shares of KTOS. And one other thing that I did after buying that 100 shares was to, one, sell covered calls on it, and two, I basically bought a call option on KTOS. And currently, one second while this loads up, KTOS. So for the 100 shares, right, in this private portfolio, it cost me about, let's say, $2,300, right? And it's currently valued at $3,427.81. The total gain for owning 100 shares, because it's up in this portfolio, $1,089.47. So basically 46.59%. Now, why do I show this? I show this to say that everything's all about scaling, right? Everything's all about scaling. So whatever gains that we have made together in the public portfolio, right? Imagine if the number of shares bought was substantial, right? Obviously the gains are going to be substantial. So in the YouTube portfolio, I have 12 shares. I don't know what the gains was around like 100 and something dollars, right? But in this portfolio where I bought 100 shares, the total gains, if I should sell this 100 shares today, is $1,000, right? And then if I go to the option play, the option play that I had on this one, which I'm going to talk about in separate videos, I'm up about $659.32, basically making 252.92% on that option play. So that's just something to think about. So as far as the verdict for KTOS, I am planning on taking profit. Well, not in this portfolio, but I'm planning on taking profit in the private portfolio. But for the YouTube portfolio, this is a hold and also a strong buy, especially with everything that's going on. But again, do your own research before you jump on any stock, right? So for this YouTube portfolio, KTOS makes up 5.9% in terms of my positions. Let's move on to a not so popular position that I have in this YouTube portfolio. So the next one is the AMZY, that's the ticker symbol, and it's basically a yield max Amazon option income ETF. Now this is designed to generate income using an option strategy that is tied to Amazon stock, AMZN, right? So in this portfolio, I own 27 shares, which is currently worth about $525.42. Now this is down slightly by 0.067%. Now, this ETF basically allows investors to benefit from Amazon's price movements through income-focused option strategy, right? While it's a unique way to gain exposure to Amazon, keep in mind that it also comes with higher risk and fees compared to directly owning Amazon shares. Now, I'll tell you why I bought AMZY in this portfolio. So if you go back to the first portfolio update that I did, at the time, I bought 60 shares of Amazon, right? And before the year ended, I was able to up that position to 100 shares to be able to leverage the covered call that I'm talking to you about. And because I didn't have a single share of Amazon in this portfolio, I figured why not just go the other route and get exposure by owning AMZY in this portfolio. So that was pretty much my thought process for introducing AMZY in this portfolio. This is very risky as well, so please do your research. Right now, in terms of my verdict, this is a hold for now. I'll keep an eye on how the income holds up, but it's worth exploring if you're seeking income and believe in Amazon's long-term growth. Now, if you're new to the whole yield max thing, it's not just Amazon that has that. So there's ones for Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, and all those other companies. The next one on my list is a free stock that I got. That's Spotify Technology. This is up a massive 51.69%. So it's currently now worth $223.15. Now, Spotify has been growing its user base and obviously expanding its podcast offerings and all that stuff. So it is one of the few companies that profits in the audio streaming space, right? So in terms of verdict, even though I got this for free, it's a hold for me, and I believe there's more room to grow, but I wouldn't add more until, you know, like the profitability improves further. The next on my list is also another free stock, which is Snapchat, right? So this has been my worst performer in this portfolio. Although I got it for free. It's down 9.74%, but it's currently valued at 58.49%. Now, Snapchat has been struggling with ad revenue and user growth. It is not clear to me if they'll turn things around anytime soon, right? In terms of the verdict, I'm holding for now, but I'm keeping a close eye on the earnings. Just a reminder to always, you know, kind of like monitor your speculative positions closely, whether you got it for free or you actually bought it with your hard-earned money. You know what I mean? On that note, if you want some of these free stocks that I got, please use the link in the description below. Just sign up for your Webull account and get your free stocks. Next on the list is Ford Motors. Now, this was also a free stock. Ford is currently worth $37.69. It's down 4.05%. In terms of the verdict, this is a hold. I'm just holding, and then I'm keeping a close eye on it. If not, I'm going to sell. Next on the list is Apple Incorporation, ticker symbol AAPL. So my fractional shares in Apple are currently worth $9.16, basically up 1.74%. Actually, I think I also got this as a free stock. I don't remember. I have to go back. But Apple remains a dominant force in technology, right, in the tech space. So with obviously the strong iPhone sales and all growing business services, right? Now, while its valuation is high, it's for me it's a solid long-term play, right? I need to load up on Apple. So in terms of the verdict, like I said, I need to load up on it. So it's always a buy for me, even if it's just fractional shares. You know, small, consistent investments in great companies can go a long way, you know. So next on the list is O Realty Income Corporation. Now, as you know, this is a REIT, basically a real estate investment trust. This is a monthly dividend paying company. I currently own 4.1 shares in this YouTube portfolio. The average price for This position in this portfolio is $55.51. It's currently being sold at $54.30. So it's down on paper $4.99, basically down 2.19%. So for my verdict for O Realty Income Corporation, personally, I bought it for the monthly dividend, so it's going to be a hold for me. This is long term, and I am going to be dollar cost averaging for this position. Next on my list is Starbucks. This, I believe, is also a free stock that I received. As you can see, I received a fraction of the shares. The average price was $75.11. It's currently being sold at $99, right? Obviously, it's a free share, so I don't have any sort of data on what the price I bought it at. So with all that considered, the YouTube portfolio is sitting at a profit of $1,354.70. So the portfolio is up 24.2. It's currently at a market value of $6,952.84. What that basically means is all the stocks that I hold in there is valued at that dollar amount. And obviously I have a cash position here sitting at $503.98. So that is basically in there, so I can use it to purchase more stocks in whatever company I choose, right? So that's how I am able to dollar cost averaging, by consistently depositing amounts of money to make these buys. Yeah, so the overall net account value is sitting at $7,456.82. So I think 6 months ago when I did this update, the portfolio value was sitting at around 2,000 or something, and then now it's sitting at $7,456.82. So again, we're building this brick by brick, and hopefully in the next 6 months, when I bring this update to you guys again, we see a higher number and more gains, basically. So that is my portfolio update for the end of 2024 and beginning this new year, January 2025. It's a new year. Let's get this bread. I'll see you in the next couple of videos. Medase, dasene, yebishia.